Are you tired of feeling hurt? Have you ever shared your deepest feelings with someone, only to regret it later? Picture this. You pour your heart out to a friend, hoping for comfort and understanding, but instead, you're met with judgment or indifference. Stings, doesn't it? But what if there's a different way? What if you could protect yourself from this pain while still finding peace and connection? Imagine a world where you never have to worry about being let down by those you trust. Sounds impossible, right? Well, maybe not. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we unravel the mysteries of life with wisdom from around the world. At Wisdom Woven, we believe in the power of knowledge to transform lives. Our mission is simple: to guide you towards a happier, more fulfilling existence. And today, we're diving deep into the idea that perhaps, just perhaps, it's best to never share your feelings with anyone. It's a bold statement, we know, but stick with us, and you might discover a whole new way of thinking. Imagine this scenario. You've had a rough day at work, and all you want is to vent to a friend. So you spill your frustrations, hoping for a sympathetic ear. But instead of empathy, you're met with unsolicited advice or dismissive remarks. How does that make you feel? It's like pouring your heart into a bottomless pit, isn't it? But what if there's a way to avoid this disappointment altogether? What if you could find solace within yourself without relying on others for validation? It's a tantalizing thought, and one that we'll explore together on this journey. But why should you listen to us? What makes Wisdom Woven different from the countless self-help gurus out there? Well, for starters, we're not here to sell you quick fixes or empty promises. We're here to offer you something much more valuable: wisdom. And not just any wisdom, but wisdom that has stood the test of time. Today, we'll draw upon the teachings of Buddhism, a tradition that has guided countless individuals towards inner peace and enlightenment. So, if you're ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery, then sit back, relax, and let's dive into the fascinating world of emotional resilience. But before we delve into the depths of Buddhist philosophy, let's take a moment to set a goal for ourselves. We want this video to reach 100 likes. Why? Because we believe that by spreading positivity and wisdom, we can make the world a better place, one click at a time. So, if you find value in what we're sharing today, don't forget to hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Wisdom Woven for more thought-provoking content. Together, we can create a community of like-minded individuals who are dedicated to living their best lives. So, without further ado, let's begin our exploration of why you should never share your feelings with anyone. Lesson 1: The nature of feelings. Feelings are like passing clouds in the sky, sometimes gentle and fleeting, other times dark and overwhelming. They arise within us, often without warning, and can sway our thoughts and actions in profound ways. But what are feelings exactly? Simply put, they are the body's response to stimuli, whether external or internal. When we see something beautiful, our hearts may swell with joy. When faced with danger, fear grips us tightly. In essence, feelings are the language of our inner world, communicating our needs, desires, and fears to ourselves and others. Consider the warmth that spreads through you when a loved one smiles at you, or the heaviness in your chest when you receive bad news. These are all manifestations of feelings arising from the depths of our being. Yet, despite their ubiquity, feelings can be elusive and mysterious. They can shift and change without warning, leaving us feeling lost and confused. But understanding the nature of feelings is the first step towards mastering them. At their core, feelings are neither good nor bad. They simply are. It is our interpretation of them that gives them meaning. For example, the feeling of anger can be a powerful motivator for change or a destructive force that harms ourselves and others. Similarly, feelings of sadness can be a catalyst for growth or a paralyzing weight that drags us down. It is up to us to discern the true nature of our feelings and respond to them with wisdom and compassion. One of the key aspects of feelings is their impermanence. Just as the weather changes from day to day, so too do our feelings ebb and flow. This impermanence can be a source of both comfort and distress. On one hand, it reminds us that no feeling lasts forever, offering hope in times of sorrow. On the other hand, it can leave us feeling unsettled, as we struggle to hold on to fleeting moments of happiness or escape the grip of despair. In Buddhism, the impermanence of feelings is a central tenet of the teachings. The Buddha taught that all phenomena are impermanent, including our feelings. By recognizing this truth, we can free ourselves from the endless cycle of craving and aversion that binds us to suffering. Instead of clinging to pleasant feelings or pushing away unpleasant ones, we can learn to simply observe them with mindfulness and equanimity. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is a powerful tool for understanding our feelings. By cultivating mindfulness, we can develop a greater awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. We can learn to recognize the subtle cues that signal the arising of a feeling, allowing us to respond to it with skill and discernment. Moreover, mindfulness enables us to create space between ourselves and our feelings, preventing them from overwhelming us. Rather than becoming swept away by a tide of emotion, we can observe it from a place of calm detachment. In this way, we can avoid reacting impulsively or rashly, choosing instead to respond with clarity and compassion. Ultimately, understanding the nature of feelings is a journey of self-discovery and growth. By embracing the impermanence of feelings and cultivating mindfulness, we can develop greater emotional resilience and inner peace. We can learn to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and equanimity, finding refuge in the depths of our own hearts. Lesson 2: The illusion of connection. Have you ever felt that sharing your deepest feelings with someone brings you closer to them? It's a common belief that confiding in others strengthens bonds. But what if that belief is flawed? Imagine this. You pour your heart out to a friend, seeking solace, expecting understanding, but instead, you're met with judgment or indifference. Stings, doesn't it? That's the risk of vulnerability. Picture this scenario. You share your excitement about a new job opportunity with a colleague, hoping for support and encouragement. Instead, they respond with envy or dismissiveness. Suddenly, that connection you thought you had feels shaky, maybe even superficial. It's disheartening, isn't it? This is the illusion of connection. Think about it. When you share your feelings, you're exposing your innermost self to another person. It's like opening a door and inviting them in. But what happens if they don't value what's inside? What if they misunderstand or reject it? That door slams shut, leaving you feeling exposed and alone. Consider this. We're often taught that vulnerability is a sign of strength, that being open and honest makes us more authentic. But what if vulnerability is actually a double-edged sword? What if, instead of bringing us closer to others, it pushes them away? Reflect on this. In Buddhism, there's a profound understanding of the nature of attachment. It teaches us that clinging to external things, whether it's possessions, relationships, or even our own emotions, only leads to suffering. When we become attached to the idea of connecting with others through sharing our feelings, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Contemplate this. The truth is, true connection isn't built on the foundation of sharing our innermost thoughts and emotions. It's built on mutual respect, understanding, and acceptance. It's about seeing each other for who we truly are, without the need for validation or approval. Consider the implications. When we place too much importance on sharing our feelings with others, we run the risk of losing sight of ourselves. We become dependent on external validation, seeking reassurance and approval from others instead of finding it within ourselves. Imagine the freedom. What if we could break free from this cycle of seeking validation through sharing our feelings? What if we could cultivate a sense of inner strength and stability that didn't rely on the opinions or reactions of others? Ponder this. Perhaps the key lies in recognizing that true connection begins with ourselves. Instead of looking to others to validate our feelings, we can learn to validate them ourselves. We can cultivate a sense of self-worth and self-acceptance that isn't contingent on external factors. Envision the possibilities. By letting go of the need to share our feelings with others, we reclaim our power and autonomy. We no longer rely on external validation to feel seen or understood. Instead, we find solace in our own company, knowing that true connection begins within. Consider the journey. It's not an easy path to walk, but it's a path worth exploring. By embracing solitude and self-reflection, we can uncover the depths of our own inner wisdom. We can learn to trust ourselves, knowing that we have everything we need within us to navigate life's challenges. Embrace the opportunity. So, the next time you feel the urge to share your feelings with someone else, pause and ask yourself, am I seeking validation or connection? Am I relying on others to validate my worth, or am I finding it within myself? Remember, true connection begins with self-awareness and self-acceptance. Lesson 3: The dangers of vulnerability. Vulnerability, often seen as a sign of strength, can sometimes lead to unexpected consequences. Imagine a scenario where you share your deepest feelings with someone you trust, hoping for support and understanding. However, instead of receiving the empathy you seek, your vulnerability is met with judgment or betrayal. This experience can leave you feeling hurt, disillusioned, and even more isolated than before. Sharing our feelings is like opening a window to our inner world. It allows others to see our vulnerabilities, fears, and insecurities. While this can foster deeper connections and intimacy in healthy relationships, it also exposes us to potential harm. People may use our vulnerabilities against us, intentionally or unintentionally, leading to emotional pain and distress. Moreover, when we share our feelings indiscriminately, we risk overburdening others with our emotional baggage. While friends and loved ones may want to support us, constantly venting our emotions without regard for their well-being can strain relationships and create a one-sided dynamic. This imbalance may eventually lead to resentment or withdrawal from the other person. In the digital age, where social media platforms encourage oversharing, the dangers of vulnerability are amplified. Posting about our innermost thoughts and feelings online exposes us to a wide audience, including acquaintances and strangers who may not have our best interests at heart. Once shared, this information can be difficult to retract, leaving us feeling exposed and vulnerable in the virtual realm. Furthermore, vulnerability can hinder our personal growth and development. When we rely too heavily on others for validation or support, we deprive ourselves of the opportunity to cultivate resilience and self-reliance. Instead of facing our challenges head-on, we may seek refuge in the comfort of others, stunting our emotional growth in the process. However, this is not to say that vulnerability should be avoided altogether. In fact, acknowledging and embracing our vulnerabilities can be a powerful catalyst for growth and healing. By courageously facing our fears and insecurities, we can cultivate greater self-awareness and self-compassion, paving the way for authentic connections and personal empowerment. Thus, the key lies in finding a balance between openness and discernment. Rather than sharing our feelings indiscriminately, we can learn to be more selective about whom we trust with our innermost thoughts and emotions. By surrounding ourselves with supportive and trustworthy individuals, we can create a safe space for vulnerability, where our feelings are met with empathy and understanding. Ultimately, It's essential to remember that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to our humanity. By honoring our own boundaries and respecting the boundaries of others, we can navigate the complexities of human connection with grace and integrity. So, while it's important to share our feelings, let's do so mindfully, ensuring that our vulnerability is met with the compassion and respect it deserves. Lesson 4: The Buddhist Perspective on Attachment. In Buddhism, attachment is seen as the root cause of suffering. Imagine holding on to a hot coal. The longer you hold it, the more it burns you. Similarly, when we cling to people, things, or ideas, we invite pain into our lives. Buddha taught that attachment arises from our desires and cravings, which cloud our judgment and keep us trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction. Buddhism encourages us to cultivate non-attachment, also known as detachment or letting go. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or cold-hearted. Instead, it's about freeing ourselves from the grip of attachment so we can experience genuine peace and happiness. When we're attached, our happiness becomes dependent on external factors, like someone's approval or possessing material possessions. But true happiness, according to Buddhism, comes from within. By letting go of attachment, we discover an inner reservoir of joy that's not contingent on external circumstances. Buddhist teachings emphasize impermanence, the idea that everything in life is constantly changing. Holding on to things tightly only leads to disappointment when they inevitably change or fade away. By embracing impermanence and letting go of attachment, we learn to flow with the natural rhythm of life. Attachment also blinds us to the interconnectedness of all things. In Buddhism, the concept of interdependence teaches that we are all deeply connected to each other and to the world around us. When we cling to individual desires, we overlook this interconnected web of existence, leading to a sense of isolation and separation. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean abandoning relationships or responsibilities. Instead, it means approaching them with a sense of openness and flexibility. When we're less attached, we're able to love more freely and deeply, without expecting anything in return. The practice of mindfulness plays a crucial role in cultivating non-attachment. By staying present in the moment, we become aware of our attachments as they arise. With mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them, allowing us to loosen their grip on us. Buddhist teachings offer practical techniques for releasing attachment, such as meditation and contemplation. Through these practices, we can develop insight into the nature of attachment and gradually let go of its hold on us. Non-attachment doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or denying our humanity. Instead, it's about approaching life with a sense of lightness and freedom. When we're not weighed down by attachment, we're able to fully experience the richness of life's ups and downs. In summary, the Buddhist perspective on attachment teaches us to let go of our grasping and clinging tendencies. By cultivating non-attachment, we can free ourselves from the cycle of suffering and discover a deeper, more enduring happiness within ourselves. Lesson 5: Understanding the Self. Who are you really? Is a question that has puzzled humanity for ages. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of ourselves. But in the quiet moments of reflection, we can begin to unravel the mystery of our own existence. Imagine yourself as a house with many rooms. Each room represents a different aspect of who you are: your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your experiences. Some rooms are bright and inviting, filled with warmth and joy. Others may be dark and cluttered, harboring fears and insecurities. But here's the thing: you are not just the sum of these rooms. You are the awareness that illuminates them. You are the silent witness behind every thought, feeling, and sensation. This awareness is what Buddhists call the true self, the unchanging essence that lies beyond the fluctuations of the mind. To understand the self, we must first learn to observe it without judgment or attachment. This is where mindfulness comes in. By bringing our attention to the present moment, we can watch the ever-changing stream of thoughts and emotions flow through our consciousness like clouds passing through the sky. Through this practice, we come to realize that we are not our thoughts or our emotions. They are simply passing phenomena, like waves on the surface of the ocean. Beneath the surface lies a deep reservoir of peace and stillness that remains untouched by the storms of life. But understanding the self goes beyond mere observation. It also involves introspection, a willingness to explore the hidden corners of our psyche with honesty and courage. This means facing our fears, confronting our weaknesses, and embracing our imperfections with compassion and acceptance. In Buddhism, this process of self-discovery is known as self-inquiry. It is a journey of exploration that leads us to the realization that the self is not a fixed entity but a fluid and ever-changing phenomenon. As the Buddha famously said, "You cannot step into the same river twice, for the waters are constantly flowing." Ultimately, the goal of understanding the self is not to cling to any fixed identity, but to transcend the limitations of the ego and awaken to our true nature. This is the path to liberation, a journey of self-discovery that leads to greater peace, happiness, and freedom. So the next time you find yourself lost in the maze of your own thoughts and emotions, remember this: you are not the house, but the light that shines within it. By cultivating mindfulness and self-inquiry, you can uncover the profound truth of your own existence and find a deeper sense of meaning and purpose in life. Lesson 6: The Path to Emotional Stability. In the journey towards emotional stability, the practice of mindfulness plays a pivotal role. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings as they arise, without becoming entangled in them. Through mindfulness, we can develop greater awareness of our emotions and learn to respond to them with wisdom and compassion. Imagine a clear, still pond. When a stone is thrown into it, ripples form on the surface. Similarly, our minds are like the pond, and our emotions are like the ripples. Mindfulness helps us to observe these ripples without being swept away by them. Instead of reacting impulsively to our emotions, we can choose how to respond with intention and clarity. One way to cultivate mindfulness is through meditation. Meditation involves sitting quietly and focusing our attention on the breath or a specific object. As thoughts and emotions arise, we acknowledge them without judgment and gently return our focus to the present moment. With regular practice, meditation can help to quiet the mind and develop inner peace. Another aspect of emotional stability is self-awareness. By understanding our own triggers and patterns of behavior, we can anticipate challenges and prepare ourselves to respond skillfully. This self-awareness allows us to take responsibility for our actions and make conscious choices that align with our values. Emotional stability also requires self-care. Just as we need to nourish our bodies with healthy food and exercise, we must also nurture our minds and hearts. This may involve engaging in activities that bring us joy, spending time in nature, or seeking support from loved ones. Taking care of ourselves allows us to recharge and maintain balance in our lives. In addition to mindfulness, compassion is essential for emotional stability. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and responding with kindness and empathy. When we cultivate compassion for ourselves and others, we create a sense of connection and belonging that can buffer us against the challenges of life. Emotional stability is not about suppressing or denying our feelings, but rather about cultivating a healthy relationship with them. It is about acknowledging the full range of human emotions with acceptance and equanimity. By developing mindfulness, self-awareness, self-care, and compassion, we can navigate life's ups and downs with greater resilience and grace. Lesson 7: The Power of Mindfulness. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. But amidst this chaos, there exists a powerful tool that can help us find clarity and peace: mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about being fully aware of our thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings without getting carried away by them. Imagine you're sitting by a serene lake, watching the ripples on the water. Just like the lake, our minds can become still and clear when we practice mindfulness. Instead of being swept away by the currents of our thoughts, we learn to observe them with a sense of detachment. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop a greater sense of self-awareness. We become more attuned to our inner workings, noticing patterns of thought and behavior that may have gone unnoticed before. Mindfulness also helps us break free from the grip of negative emotions. When we observe our feelings without judgment, we create space for them to arise and pass away naturally. Instead of suppressing or reacting impulsively, we can respond to challenges with greater clarity and wisdom. Moreover, mindfulness can improve our overall well-being. Numerous studies have shown that regular mindfulness practice can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It can also enhance our attention span, memory, and cognitive abilities. One of the simplest ways to cultivate mindfulness is through focused breathing. By bringing our attention to the sensations of each breath, its rhythm, temperature, and texture, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. Another effective technique is body scanning, where we systematically bring our awareness to different parts of the body, noticing any sensations or tensions that arise. This helps us release physical and mental tension, promoting relaxation and inner peace. Mindfulness isn't just about being present in pleasant moments. It's also about embracing discomfort with acceptance and compassion. When we approach challenging emotions with mindfulness, we learn to sit with them without being overwhelmed, gradually letting go of resistance and finding inner resilience. In essence, mindfulness is a lifelong journey, a practice that deepens with time and dedication. As we continue to cultivate mindfulness in our daily lives, we unlock the power to transform our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. So, let's take a moment to pause, breathe, and be fully present in this beautiful gift called life. Lesson 9: Cultivating Inner Strength. In the journey of life, there comes a time when we must cultivate our inner strength. This strength is not about muscles or physical power, but about resilience, courage, and emotional stability. It's about building a fortress within ourselves that can withstand the storms of life. Think of your mind as a garden. Just as a garden needs care, attention, and nurturing, so does your inner strength. You must tend to it regularly, watering it with positivity and nourishing it with self-love. One way to cultivate inner strength is through self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your thoughts and emotions. Notice how they arise and how they affect you. By understanding yourself better, you can start to build resilience against negative influences. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment without judgment. By staying present, you can prevent your mind from dwelling on past regrets or future worries. This allows you to focus on what truly matters and build inner peace. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, face them head-on. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your inner resilience and builds your confidence. Surround yourself with supportive people. Cultivating inner strength doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Seek out friends and loved ones who uplift and encourage you. Their support can help you navigate tough times with grace and resilience. Set boundaries to protect your energy. Learn to say no to things that drain you or cause unnecessary stress. By setting healthy boundaries, you preserve your inner strength and maintain emotional balance. Practice self-care regularly. Make time for activities that nourish your body, mind, and soul. Whether it's exercise, meditation, or simply taking a walk in nature, prioritize activities that recharge your batteries and replenish your inner reserves. Forgive yourself and others. Holding on to grudges or past mistakes only weighs you down. By practicing forgiveness, you release the burden of anger and resentment and free up space for inner peace and strength. Focus on what you can control. In life, there are many things beyond our control. Instead of wasting energy on things you cannot change, focus on what you can influence. This empowers you to take proactive steps toward your goals and build resilience in the face of adversity. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Every step forward is a testament to your inner strength and resilience. Take pride in your accomplishments and use them as fuel to keep moving forward. Remember, inner strength is not about being invincible or never feeling vulnerable. It's about acknowledging your weaknesses and fears while still finding the courage to face them. By cultivating inner strength, you empower yourself to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and unwavering determination. Lesson 10: Embracing solitude. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to forget the beauty of solitude. But solitude isn't loneliness. It's a sacred space where you can connect with your true self. When you're alone, there's no need to wear masks or hide your feelings. You can simply be, without judgment or expectation. Think about a serene forest or a quiet beach. In these peaceful settings, you can feel a sense of calm wash over you. Similarly, solitude allows your mind to quiet down, giving you the chance to listen to your inner voice. It's in this silence that you can find clarity and wisdom. Many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism, emphasize the importance of solitude. The Buddha himself spent years in deep meditation, seeking enlightenment in solitude. He discovered that true happiness comes from within, not from external sources. In solitude, you can tap into the infinite well of joy that lies dormant within you. Embracing solitude doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world completely. It means carving out pockets of time for yourself, away from distractions and noise. Whether it's a few minutes of meditation in the morning or a quiet walk in nature, find moments to be alone with your thoughts. Solitude also fosters self-reliance and independence. When you're comfortable being alone, you're less reliant on others for validation or support. You become your own best friend, capable of weathering life's storms with grace and resilience. Moreover, solitude allows you to recharge and rejuvenate. In today's hyper-connected world, we're constantly bombarded with stimuli, leaving us drained and depleted. But in solitude, you can replenish your energy reserves, ready to face the world anew. Don't fear solitude. Embrace it as a gift. Use this time to reflect on your thoughts and emotions, to ponder life's deeper questions. In solitude, you can discover who you truly are and what truly matters to you. Remember, it's okay to be alone. In fact, it's essential for your mental and emotional well-being. So instead of avoiding solitude, welcome it with open arms. Allow yourself to bask in the tranquility of your own company, knowing that you are complete just as you are. Conclusion. In our journey through the wisdom of Buddhism and the caution against sharing our feelings indiscriminately, we've uncovered profound insights into the nature of emotions and relationships. It's clear that while expressing ourselves is essential, it's equally crucial to discern whom we share our innermost thoughts and feelings with. Let's recap the key takeaways and how we can apply them to our lives. Firstly, we've learned that not everyone is worthy of our vulnerability. Just as we wouldn't entrust our valuables to strangers, we shouldn't expose our deepest emotions to those who may misuse or disregard them. Instead, we must cultivate discernment and trust our instincts when deciding whom to confide in. Secondly, the Buddhist perspective on attachment teaches us the importance of non-attachment. By recognizing the impermanent nature of feelings and relationships, we can free ourselves from the suffering that arises from clinging too tightly. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions, but rather observing them with mindfulness and letting them pass without becoming entangled in them. Thirdly, we've explored the power of mindfulness in maintaining emotional stability. By staying present in the moment and observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we can avoid being swept away by them. Mindfulness also enables us to respond to situations with clarity and compassion rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or insecurity. Furthermore, we've discussed the importance of setting boundaries and cultivating inner strength. Boundaries protect us from emotional harm and ensure that we engage in relationships that are mutually respectful and supportive. Inner strength, nurtured through practices such as meditation and self-reflection, empowers us to stand firm in our convictions and withstand the pressures of external influences. In conclusion, while it's natural to seek connection and support from others, we must exercise caution in sharing our feelings. By embracing the principles of discernment, non-attachment, mindfulness, boundaries, and inner strength, we can navigate the complexities of human relationships with wisdom and grace. Now it's time for action. Let's commit to applying these teachings in our daily lives, starting with small steps such as pausing to observe our emotions before reacting impulsively, setting boundaries in relationships that feel draining or unhealthy, and dedicating time to cultivate mindfulness and inner strength through practices like meditation and self-care. Together, let's embark on a journey towards greater emotional resilience, authenticity, and fulfillment. Remember, the path to true connection begins with honoring and protecting the sanctity of our own hearts. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of wisdom woven. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to continue receiving insights and inspiration for living a mindful and meaningful life.